Hello, it's Common. Let's get into the nitty gritty. Let's quit blaming countries like Mexico, now Canada, China, for the fentanyl issues that we have in the U.S. My Republican friends, what about taking personal accountability for your life? I mean, I've been affected by drugs through people I know, people that have been close to me. And it's not just drugs. It's been gambling addiction, alcohol addiction. So I can see the damage that it can cause to people. But guess what? It's not the supplier. Chris Rock has this famous joke. It says, drug dealers don't sell drugs. They offer drugs. Where have you ever been any place where somebody sold you something that you weren't looking for? I tell my wife that if I go to Best Buy, they don't sell me anything I'm not looking for. I'm looking for a new TV. I'm looking for a new phone. Drug dealers don't sell anything to anyone that they're not looking for. If you're not looking for, like me, I don't do drugs. Haven't done drugs in over 35 years now. And needless to say, they're not looking for me. I'm not that person. Now, I get it because life is hard. It's very hard. And people want to wait out just for a little while, to get rid of their problems, go in the la la land. I get that. But when you come out of la la land, there's no help here for you. Now, we all have gone to school. Well, most of us. I don't want to speak for everybody, but most of us have gone to school. We lived in neighborhoods. We played with people. You knew that problem child when you were growing up. You might have been that parent. It's like, this kid's going to be a little problem when they get older. You could have been the kid playing with the other kid. Like when I was growing up, there was a couple of kids we played with. We didn't know about gay at that time, but they were just a little bit different from us. And later on in life, they did become gay. And it's like, we saw that already. You didn't show us anything we didn't see. And what you need to do, like the state I live in, Pennsylvania, our governor, Josh Shapiro, which I think he just started a really great program. He's putting counselors in schools. And I'm not talking about the guidance counselor that's trying to help you get set up with your English class, your math class, but especially teachers. They can see these kids, 5 hours a day, 6 hours a day. And they might be able to detect that kid that might have that problem. Maybe at home, maybe at school. Because, there's a lot of issues that get people on drugs. Maybe you were bullied. Cause you to do drugs. Maybe mom and dad weren't that great to you. Maybe cause you to do drugs. But you have to find the root cause of the drug use. Most people that want something out of life don't do drugs. I want to get married. I want to have a nice house. I want a nice car. I want to build my career. I want to do something. Most of the time, it's where you end up. When I was going to school, they'd always ask us, what do you want to be? You want to be a cop? You want to be a fireman? You want to be a lawyer? You want to be a dentist? Nobody ever said, you know what? I want to be a drug user. That's what I want to do with my life. I just want to sit there and use drugs and destroy my life. But the root cause is finding out what makes these people do drugs. Most of the time it's from the childhood. I've been to counseling, not ashamed to admit to it, a few times in my life, trying to get myself back on track. And most of adults' problems, 95% of them, come from their childhood. And putting counselors in these schools that can get to these kids at a young age so they don't want to do drugs. They can get their issues worked out. So later in life, they can be more productive members of society instead of taking society down. So when you want to blame anybody, don't blame a country. Blame yourself. Especially if you're that parent and you know your child has issues, but you don't want to do anything about it. You're that teacher that sees issues that could possibly get resolved before it even gets to this point. Look at yourself. You've got a friend, which I've had friends on drugs. I tried helping them out. Now, don't get me wrong. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink. Sometimes people have to hit rock bottom to straighten themselves out. But why let them get to that point where they need to hit rock bottom when you could go to a school? Most of our kids in this country go to schools. These teachers can see things that the average person, because sometimes parents are naive when it comes to drugs. Not my baby. My baby will never do drugs. My baby's never going to be a criminal while you're watching them steal and do stupid shit because you want to ignore the problem. But with counselors in schools, working with these children and the next generation so they possibly won't do drugs, won't want it. Because, once again, no drug dealer sells you drugs when you don't want them. They can only offer to you, and you can say yes or you can say no. But you might need some help along the way. So those people that want to blame other countries for our problems, shame on you, because the problem is in the house. And on that note, learn more so you can do better.